Imagine 300 warriors, backs against the cliff, shields locked, staring down an army that conquered the known world. Now here's the kicker. We're not talking about Persians this time. We're talking about Rome's most brutal killing machine, the legions that crushed every enemy from Gaul to Africa. So what happens when Sparta's ultimate warriors, the guys who literally trained from birth to become living weapons, go toe-to-toe with the most disciplined military force in human history? This isn't just some fantasy matchup. This is a collision between two completely different philosophies of war. And honestly, the answer might shock you. Because one of these forces is about to get absolutely destroyed, and it might not be the one you think. But then you've got Rome, and Rome didn't play around either. The Roman legions weren't just an army. They were a machine, a relentless, adaptive, constantly evolving war machine that turned conquest into a science. According to military historian Adrian Goldsworthy, what made Rome terrifying wasn't just their discipline. It was their ability to learn from every single defeat and come back stronger. They'd lose a battle, analyze what went wrong, adjust their tactics, upgrade their gear, and then steamroll right back over whoever beat them. That's not just determination, that's straight up scary. So when we're asking what happens when these two forces meet, we're really asking something deeper. What wins, individual excellence or collective discipline? The ultimate warrior or the perfect system? Because that's what this clash represents. And honestly, it's a question that still matters today in everything from sports to business to how we run our military. Let's set the scene. Picture this, it's somewhere around 250 BC, hypothetically speaking. A Spartan force of 300 hoplites. Not just any 300 but full Spartiates. The elite warriors who've earned that title through decades of brutal training, finds themselves facing off against a Roman legion. Now a full legion at this time is packing about 4,000 infantry plus cavalry support. Already the math doesn't look great for our Spartan heroes. But hold on, because the Spartans have pulled off worse odds before, right? Here's where it gets interesting. The Spartan phalanx is basically a bronze battering ram made of human beings. These guys lock their shields together in what's called the aspis formation, creating this impenetrable wall of overlapping shields that's about 8 men deep. Their primary weapon is the dory, an 8-foot spear designed to thrust over those shields and impale anyone stupid enough to get close. According to historian Victor Davis Hansen, when a Spartan phalanx was properly formed and motivated, it was nearly unstoppable in a head-on clash. The sheer weight and momentum of that formation could push through enemy lines like a linebacker going through tissue paper. But here's the thing that should make you nervous if you're betting on Sparta. The Romans have seen phalanxes before. They fought the Greeks, they fought the Macedonians, who perfected the phalanx under Alexander the Great. And you know what? Rome figured them out. The Roman Manipular Legion isn't one solid block like the phalanx. It's arranged in these flexible units called maniples, which can move independently, adapt to terrain, and most importantly, attack from multiple angles simultaneously. So we've got the unstoppable force meeting the adaptable object. The tension here is real, because both sides have legitimate paths to victory. If the Spartans can force a straight-up frontal engagement on flat ground, a phalanx might just do what it does best and bulldoze through. But if the Romans can use their flexibility, split their forces, and attack the flanks, well, a phalanx is only scary from the front. From the side or rear, those Spartans are basically wearing Halloween costumes. And we haven't even talked about the psychological factor yet. Spartans literally do not retreat. It's not an option in their culture. According to ancient sources, Spartan mothers would tell their sons to come back with their shield or on it, meaning victory or death, no middle ground. That kind of commitment is inspiring, sure, but it's also tactically limiting. Meanwhile, Roman commanders have no problem pulling back, regrouping, and trying a different approach. Flexibility versus fanaticism, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Alright, Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this actually plays out, because the devil's in the details, and those details are absolutely brutal. When that Spartan phalanx first crashes into the Roman lines, it's devastating. We're talking about warriors who've trained their entire lives for this exact moment, each one a master of the spear and shield, pushing forward with this coordinated violence that's hard to even imagine. The first rank of Romans probably gets shredded. No way around it. According to accounts from battles between Greek phalanxes and Roman legions, that initial contact is where the phalanx shines brightest. The Romans in the front lines are getting stabbed by multiple spears simultaneously. Shields are splintering, and for a moment, it looks like the Spartans are going to pull off another impossible victory. But here's where Rome's system kicks in, and this is where things get really interesting. Those Roman maniples we talked about, they're not just sitting there taking it. While the center of the Roman line is engaged with the Spartan front, the maniples on the flanks are already moving. They're spreading out, using their gladius, that short stabbing sword that's absolutely lethal in close quarters, and they're probing for weaknesses. The Spartan phalanx is like a medieval tank, awesome going forward, terrible at turning. According to military analysis by historians studying the Roman manipular system, this is exactly how Rome beat the Macedonian phalanx at Pydna in 168 BC. The phalanx pushed forward, created gaps in its formation due to rough terrain, and the Romans exploited those gaps mercilessly. Now our Spartans are way better trained than the Macedonians, don't get me wrong, but the principle is the same. A phalanx is only as strong as its ability to maintain formation, and the Romans are masters at breaking formations. And here's the really scary part for the Spartans. Roman legionaries carry these javelins called pila, and they're designed with this genius brutal twist. The shaft is partly made of soft iron that bends on impact, so when it hits your shield, it doesn't just stick in there. It weighs the shield down and makes it nearly impossible to use. According to Roman military records described by ancient writer Polybius, before the Romans even close for melee combat, they're hurling volleys of these pila at the enemy formation. Imagine being in that Spartan phalanx, shields locked, and suddenly javelins are raining down, bending, making your shield useless, forcing you to either drop it or fight with this awkward weight dragging your arm down. The Spartans are brave, no question, but bravery doesn't stop physics. As their formation starts to lose cohesion, as gaps appear because guys are dealing with broken shields or wounded comrades, that's when the Roman gladius becomes a nightmare. In close quarters, that short sword beats a long spear every time because there's no room to thrust an 8-foot weapon. The Romans push in close, get inside the reach of those Spartan spears, and then it's just systematic butchery. But wait, because here's where this story takes a turn you might not expect. Let's say, hypothetically, that those 300 Spartans aren't fighting on some open field where Rome's tactical advantages can dominate. Let's say they choose their ground, just like Leonidas did at Thermopylae. Put them in a narrow pass, eliminate Rome's ability to flank, force it to be a pure frontal engagement where numbers don't matter as much. Suddenly, the game changes completely. Now we're talking about a scenario where Spartan advantages actually matter. In a confined space, that phalanx becomes an unmovable object. The Romans can't use their flexibility, can't maneuver around the flanks, and they are forced to go shield to shield against warriors who are frankly better trained for exactly this type of fight. According to the historical accounts we have of Thermopylae, the Persians, who outnumbered the Spartans by an insane margin, took 3 days and massive casualties to finally break through, and that only happened because of betrayal, not because they beat the Spartans in combat. So here's the emotional gut punch. The Spartans can win, but only if they give up their greatest strength, their willingness to stand and fight in open battle. They have to admit that they need the terrain advantage, that they can't just out-warrior the Romans through sheer skill and courage. That's a hard pill to swallow for a culture that defines itself through martial excellence. It's like asking Mike Tyson in his prime to admit he needs a weapon to win. It goes against everything the identity is built on. And from Rome's perspective, imagine being this unstoppable empire that's conquered everyone, and you finally meet an enemy that, if they choose their ground right, can actually stop you cold. That's terrifying in a different way. Because Rome's whole system is built on the idea that they're inevitable, that resistance is futile, that you can fight, but you'll eventually lose. But these 300 guys in a mountain pass are saying, not here, not today, and there's nothing you can do about it. The tragedy is that both sides are right and both are wrong. The Spartans are individually superior warriors, no question. But Rome's system is superior, also no question. In an open field engagement, Rome wins 99 times out of 100. In a narrow pass with the Spartans defending, Sparta wins 99 times out of 100. The twist is that war isn't fair. It's not about who's the better warrior. It's about who controls the circumstances of the fight. And that's a brutal lesson that's cost countless armies throughout history.